Hello, do you hear me? Okay. Hello. Thanks. First of all, thanks a lot for hosting us here. Kiev is such a nice city like Istanbul, so we would love to have you in Istanbul as well. So my name is Fuat Kilich. I'm working for Palo Alto Networks around 3 years. Before that, I only work for security vendors and doing security for 15 years. And I cover finance accounts, big finance accounts, especially in Istanbul. So we are going to present with my colleague, Miroslav from SoftServe, how to secure, how to use Palo Alto Networks solutions during your cloud journey. So Miroslav?
Hello everybody, my name is Miroslav Dzьобан and I work for SoftServe. Probably you know because we are one of the largest software engineering companies in Europe, and we are a Palo Alto Networks customer for a range of their products. And at this session, I wanted to join and share some experience about very interesting and new addition to their portfolio, namely Prisma Public Cloud, which enable to resolve a lot of challenges we do have in our IT. And also we created a service offering for our customers based on this product. And now handing over back to Fuat to give you the overview, and my use case will be coming later.
Okay, thanks a lot, Miroslav. So this is going to be our agenda within the next 35 to 40 minutes. We are going to start with the cloud challenges, new emerging challenges within cloud, and what is Palo Alto's unique approach to solve that challenges. Then we are going to introduce again and Prisma, and I will make a product mapping. You hear a lot of existing product names from Palo Alto Networks. Now we introduce Cortex, Prisma, Strata, etc. How we map them. Prisma use cases within Prisma technologies. Miroslav will present their own Prisma Cloud as well as VM series use case. And we will, as a dessert, we are going to present Twistalk for your container security. This is really emerging thing especially within my country. So what is the first and most important challenge that we see in cloud? You know, today Corona is an important problem for all of us, and companies are, encouraging people to working their home. But anyway, even Corona or something else, our users are in cloud, as well as our resources are moving to cloud. Not only our own resources, but also our software as a services or other products. And we still use our old wide array infrastructure to bring everybody to our headquarters back to the cloud resources through through branch to headquarter connection or a VPN concentrator, but it is inconvenient for all of our users, not only for security but also network latency. On the other hand, SaaS applications, all of us uses SaaS application like Office 365, Box, G Drive, and others through cloud, and we don't need to have a VPN connection to use that SaaS applications. And since you do not have any inline product while users reaching that SaaS services, you do not have any control on that SaaS applications, which might be a leakage point for your valuable company information, right? And last, maybe the most important thing, cloud applications. If you have a developer or a DevOps team within your infrastructure, everybody is talking about having applications cloud native. I don't mean to carry your existing VM series to the cloud, but writing an application which is cloud native. It might be born on cloud, it might be born on-prem. However, your application might need to move Google Cloud, OpenShift, Azure functions, etc. All the containers are serverless are coming. So I'm going to be deep dive that containers and serverless part. As you may know, IBM has acquired Red Hat. With Red Hat, they got OpenShift instead of their ICP container orchestration solution. And IBM has decided to move every IBM application to OpenShift as in a container, as a container workload. I mean, it was just an example. 8 out of 10 enterprise apps will move to the container level in the near future, and we say that within next year, half of all enterprise customers will have a container orchestration solution. I see it, and increase the bet. I mean, all of the finance customers will have a, container orchestration next year. I mean, we started Tvistok POC everywhere. I mean, last 5 years, our customers were talking about NSX, ACI, how to do SDN, and it has just stopped. Everybody thinks about how to move container orchestration solutions. And not least serverless. I mean, serverless, another trending concept for cloud. I mean, for containers, you need to pack a container, right? You use a base image, you have your components or your own code. But with serverless, according to language, software language that your cloud provider supports, you can provide your own code to be run by your cloud provider. Google has functions, Google Functions, Azure Functions, AWS Lambda are serverless platforms. And as an example for serverless, I mean, this is mostly stateless applications, which means that, I mean, for example, a chat window within a web page. You say, hello, what do you want? I need this one. I'm going to redirect you here. Or Netflix mostly uses serverless to change encoding of their movies. And CI/CD and secure lifecycle, software lifecycle development is an important part of our lives. You might heard we use Jenkins for continuous integration and continuous development from your developers. I mean, with CI/CD and software lifecycle, we start to move security to the left, security shifting to the left. What I mean by shifting to left, we as a network security guys are like the cars chasing the ambulance, which means that, I mean, we have a new application in our network, we have to secure it. So we scan it, we try to find vulnerabilities, right? Then if the software developer cannot patch the vulnerabilities on application, we virtually patch the application through our IPS. But with life cycles, secure lifecycle, software lifecycle development, we are moving to security left, which I mean, when an application borns, when a container borns, we say that, even without borning, I mean, even a base image is downloaded to your registry, we say that this base image or containers has these vulnerabilities, and I am not going to allow you to run this application without solving that problems. And not least again, if you are using cloud, you are 81% using multi-cloud. There is no single customer, let's say only 20% of the customer by Gartner's research is using single cloud, 81% of using multi-cloud. Whenever you choose a cloud security solution, you have to think about it. It should work on multi-cloud environment as well as hybrid cloud environment. And what is our approach, Palo Alto's approach? To protect your every resource, every kind of workload. It might be VM, it might be serverless, container, or a SaaS solution. Our main aim to protect your every kind of resources within the product lifecycle. Not only, I mean, running on the network, but from born of that containers or serverless. And protect them on any cloud. Now, most of the vendors are supporting AWS, Azure, GCP. We start to support Alibaba as well as Oracle, and not only public cloud, but also on-prem solutions such as Pivotal Kubernetes services, OpenShift Kubernetes services, Google Anthos, etc. So introducing Prisma, when you heard what is Strata, it is mostly our enterprise solution, Prisma and Cortex. I call them Prisma is security for your cloud environment, cloud workloads, and Cortex, I mean security using on-prem instead of using cloud security, instead of your on-prem security from cloud. I mean, I call it Prisma security for cloud. Cortex is security from cloud. And when we introduced Prisma, we renamed our existing solutions with Prisma. First of all, Global Protect Cloud Services, which is Palo Alto's SaaS solution. You might heard about it from Gartner's research, Secure Access Service Edge. It is basically providing all security services from cloud edge. And Palo Alto providing Global Protect Cloud Services with GCP, Google Cloud Platform. We are going to talk about some use cases about that. And Prisma SaaS, Palo Alto has acquired Aperture more than 3 or 4 years ago. It is multi-cloud cloud access security broker solution to secure your users when they reach their SaaS applications without the VPN connections. We have API integration with Office 365, G Drive, etc. And we can even be in line by redirecting by that SaaS application to our firewall. Prisma Cloud, when we introduced Prisma Cloud, Tavistock was not part of Palo Alto family. Prisma Cloud was meant to be only Redlock, but after Tavistock acquisition, we added Tavistock into the Prisma Cloud family with the name Prisma Cloud Compute. When we mean Prisma Cloud, we mean both Redlock and Tavistock. And VM series, luckily, name is not changed. It is not Prisma VM series, it is still VM series. And what is our unique use cases for Prisma Access? As you know, our users on the cloud, mostly as a company, you might be on the cloud. I mean, with the legacy VPN concentration solutions, you have a client-to-site VPN back to your headquarters, and your users tries to reach mobile workforce. We provide our headends, gateways through Google Cloud Platform, and your users can easily make a VPN connection to our VM firewall within Google Cloud Platform and reach its resources on the cloud as fast as possible. And the second one is Cloud Connected Branch. Let's say you are an international company, you have offices or manufacturing plants throughout the world. Let's say you are Ukrainian Airlines, you have an office everywhere in the world, and you have your resources within Azure AWS or Google Cloud for your customers as well as your staff. So why do they need to VPN back to Kiev or Lviv? Let's have a VPN connection to the closest GCP point. For example, if they are in US, they might have a VPN connection to US from their ticketing office, or if they are in Istanbul, we have competing engine GCP headend in Istanbul, or even we have in Ukraine. When we come here, our VPN client on our laptops just direct the VPN, our Palo Alto headend in Ukraine, provided by GCP. And for the Prisma SaaS, why do we use it? You have SaaS application, your sanctioned SaaS application that you are allowed to use by customer. You have unsanctioned SaaS application you don't want to be used by your customers. But when you use a sanction and tolerated ones, you allow to users to use it. However, you are not provided by yourself, but you want to control what they upload to Google Drive. If it has let's say if it is a highly confidential document or public document, if it creates a DLP problem, or you want to control where users and when users authenticated to the system. For example, most of us users Salesforce.com through our Android phones within Palo Alto. However, if I lost or if my credential has been stolen by someone at SFTC needs to check Fuat was connected to SFTC from Istanbul, but after 5 minutes he tries to connect same SFTC account through China. It needs to be controlled, and with Prisma SaaS we control this. And I want to hand over to Miroslav to talk about Redlock at that time.
Right. So Redlock component of Prisma Public Cloud, it's a solution specifically designed to answer the questions which arise within IT infrastructure, and for the InfoSec team when we try to extend our traditional on-prem infrastructure, which everybody from us have been running for years, to the cloud. And I completely understand everybody here in the auditory and understand why there were so few hands raised when there were questions about, did you already migrate to the cloud? It opens you such an unlimited opportunities. Everybody is migrating to the cloud. Why are not you completely in the cloud yet? And I was afraid of this question. It's really a problem, because it's not just copying your virtual machines to the cloud. Of course, virtualization is now very common in each and every infrastructure, but is going to the cloud just running virtual machines there instead of your VMware or OpenStack or KVM? It is apparently not, because it's not what is cloud native applications. It is not what your developers would like to use in the cloud. And if you just run your virtual machines in the cloud instead of VMware, they are just basically become more expensive. Maybe you got some better resilience, better mobility, but it's not what cloud offers. And what it offers actually is a breadth of services, a huge number of services which your DevOps, your developers who design and build actual useful applications for your business, who maintain applications for your business, would like to utilize on those infrastructure. So the question is, what do they do there? So with the traditional infrastructures, which were being always built and maintained by IT teams, even if we call them something like private cloud, even if we buy private cloud portals to give some self-service interfaces to our users, so they could initiate creation of virtual machines for them, or maybe requesting some storage, we still do not provide such a level and depth of control over the infrastructure, over the service itself, as the private cloud offers to the users of infrastructure as a cloud accounts. There on Amazon, on AWS, when you have the account and if you handed account access to your developers, they could even just take away the account altogether. You cannot imagine they take away your vSphere from you, because they just do not have rights. But if you do not allocate rights correctly on the cloud, you can end up with somebody just stealing your infrastructure. And of course, there are services which just do not exist on the private clouds, like starting from storage, ending with some analytics service or serverless services and so on, which we do not even know how to manage. And this problem is even multiplied if you allow your teams to work on multiple clouds. For example, one of the teams deploys solution on AWS and the other loves Azure more. So it just multiplies everything twice and you have too much as many problems. But still you do not want just disable all of the services, because now the applications, they benefit greatly from being able to run on the cloud because of automated scaling, because of access to content delivery networks, because of being able to use unlimited storage possibilities. But traditional IT wouldn't like to stand in the way between your developers, even if those developers are part of your team, or if those developers are a separate team. You wouldn't like your developers to go back and forth to IT to ask, okay, now just create me that virtual machine on the cloud, or give me this piece of storage. You want to delegate some rights on the cloud account, but still you want to make sure that your DevOps people, your developers, do not just do stupid things there. Maybe you can think of, for example, making them only use approved images, or only use some set of services or technologies which you know how to manage. But this is not always the case. Sometimes you can enforce so, sometimes you cannot, because they can often tell that I want to try this newest image, I want to try this newest service, like I want to try speech recognition service. You wouldn't want to disable this new functionality and make them complaining their bosses that IT just wouldn't let us implement new fancy feature just because they do not know how to manage it. So we need to be as dynamic as they are, and be ready to embrace those things. So you've seen the whole set of problems there, and which didn't exist on the private infrastructure, on the on-prem infrastructure, or they were, but they were pretty much static, and you were able to deal with them. Here, it was a call for vendors to develop a whole new set of solutions for compliance management, basically to be able to inspect what is the configuration, what is the state of the cloud account or GCP project or Azure subscription, which services are there, in which configuration, which users do have access to, and what are the statistics for the service utilization. So it opened up a whole new solution, and one of the best implementations of such a tool set is Prisma Cloud, former Redlock, which you can see is a central part of our solution here, and it pulls out configuration and events from the cloud account. Here you can see, let's say, Amazon account, but one of the huge advantages is that this is the single pane of glass, the single solution which works in the similar way with Amazon, GCP, and Azure. So you do not have to go and buy 3 solutions, or have to deal with separately with Azure Security Center and then some other solution for GCP and some other solution for AWS. So Prisma Cloud also fulfills another functionality, is to consume net flows, basically all network connections which were made to and from the VPC, where our account operates. And with this functionality, we were able to answer the question: basically what connection were there, and we are able to apply Palo Alto Security Intelligence. Like you know, they have a database which is continuously being updated with modern threats, blacklist for IP addresses, URLs, pattern for malicious activity. So you would be able to see even if somebody is scanning and trying to open some web pages, which would indicate that somebody is trying to find an exploit to your resources. That would be indicated to you by Prisma Cloud. Then we have to involve some more solutions, like you heard. Unfortunately, you cannot stay single vendor. You cannot stay in a perfect world when one vendor, one solution fulfills everything. So we have to scan our resources from the outside to see if nobody opened some old version of software which has known exploits. So we add another component here for vulnerability scanning. It is also a cloud-based solution, and one of the most important parts of the entire topology is SIEM, Security Incident and Event Management System, which is a centralized login, centralized dashboard for our security operations. So we do not want our security teams to go to different tools and consume different kinds of reports. So we then enroll SIEM for each and every account that we deploy. Of course, you would want each new account to be already deployed along with those tools. So you do not want some IT admin to go and create new account and then InfoSec to just to forget to configure Prisma to consume logs from this account. And there is SIEM which has to be configured to accept events, and there is a multitude of different tools. So it's a job for orchestrator. We use open source orchestrator platform, and then we, as we have a request from our internal IT teams or from our customers or developers for one more account, we just have a library of readily made jobs which IT admin just runs, and it goes and thanks to open APIs, which is especially a great functionality of Prisma, we just configure SIEM, then Prisma, then vulnerability scanner, and the account itself. We go and configure it, and we know that no account would be created without log collection, without inspection on Prisma, and without scanning. And of course, we indicate it and track everything in our CMDB. So we have the connection of the account to our budget, to our projects and to our users. So it wouldn't happen so that a project has been dismissed because it was ended and the budget was closed, but the next billing period we get the invoice to pay some amount of money, but nobody is the owner of this account anymore. So who would pay for abandoned account? So this is the solution topology, and why was it built? It is any tool set is as good as you are able to use it. So using this tool set means that we basically extend our InfoSec and our IT processes for vulnerability management, for compliance management, for inventory, for cost management to the cloud. Yes, we had to employ some new tools, but now we do not want to end up with those tools just occasionally go for somebody to come, generate a report, see that we have a complete mess with the security, like hundreds of out of compliance issues and so on, and then who would deal with those hundreds of issues? So we made sure that we have a continuous process going on there. So as Prisma Cloud detects any incompatibility cases, which Prisma Cloud is being able to detect by comparing actual configuration against a database of known good configuration, which is dictated by compliance standards. For example, we mainly apply NIST 853, or if we were in payment industry, we would apply PCI DSS. Their recommendations were translated into patterns of configuration, and what we buy is Prisma's and Palo Alto intelligence, and when they already tell us that if somebody opens storage this way to the public internet, it is out of compliance. If somebody does not change keys, it's out of compliance, and so on. So we have readily available outcomes from Prisma. Then vulnerability scanner or whatever tool set we use, they go to SIEM, and then our SIEM creates incidents, because as those issues happens, we want somebody to actually go and immediately take care of it. We prioritize those issues based on the classification of projects, and since we account each and every resource for their owners and so on, we are able to immediately assign a precise person, an owner of this account, and issue basically a ticket telling that, hey, within your account there is a problem with out of compliance configuration, go and fix it. And this ticket is kept in SIEM, and its status is also pulled from the ITSM system. And then on the dashboard we are able to see all issues connected to some account, and we are able to see if there are issues which are not being treated for days or weeks or something. So we make sure that the lifetime of issues is being short. So we do not allow, for example, S3 storage to be open for everybody to the world for years. So, like, yeah, we see it in some PDF report, but we know that. But this way, we know that it's assigned somebody to fix. So now we have working processes for cloud infrastructure. What next we want to address is that we are able to deal confidently with EAS account configuration itself. But what is going on the systems themselves? What code do they run? And like you know, nowadays most of the code is being pulled out from open source repositories, and who knows how secure it is. So this is a job for Twistlock to be able to scan and tell if this code is secure, and if you want to allow it to be a part of your critical application. And this is something which Fuat is featuring today. And back to Fuat. Thank you.
Thank you, Miroslav. Thanks a lot. It was a good segue to Twistlock. So we are out of time. I'm going to be fast. I'm going to talk about how we secure your containerization environment with Twistock. First, and one of the most important things, but it is a low-hanging fruit for container security, is vulnerability management. As Miroslav stated, we can scan your existing registries. Whenever your developer downloads a base image to your repository, we can scan it and report to you what kind of vulnerabilities does it have. We also integrated with your CI/CD environment, which is mostly Bamboo, Jenkins, Azure TFS, etc. And we can even warn your developer through your CI/CD product. I mean, you created a container. However, you have these vulnerabilities within your container. We can even show all the vulnerabilities layer by layer within Docker file. I mean, whenever they look, I mean, they can easily understand which component brings which vulnerabilities and how can they solve by upgrading their components inside it. Also, we can provide compliance reports through Twistock. We see CIS, NIST, PCI, HIPAA, GDPR, and you can change your template, these templates based on your own regulations. Runtime security, it is not a low-hanging fruit for container security. We learn each and every action of containers, network flows, system calls, file actions, etc. And we can create runtime policies based on these whitelisted actions. Also, we can say, I mean, what is allowed, what is blocked for runtime. We, as Palo Alto Network Security Company with Twistock, we have a layer 4 firewall for your containerized environment, as well as a web application firewall, your data protection. Container world is different. You know, within container world, you don't have IP addresses. You have your containers. Your containers might work within different pods with different port numbers, which means that we don't use IP addresses to define a container with Twistock. You choose a container if you use that base image coming with that text coming from these hosts, and all the parameters for Twistocks are based on containers, not the IP addresses, etc. And we support automated response with your Jira or Slack environment with webhooks to make automated actions. And how Twistock does it? Twistock is a container and cloud-native cybersecurity solution, and it's a container as well. We have our console as a container. How we work? You have your nodes. Let's say you use a Kubernetes environment, and you have your nodes, right? And let's say you have 10 nodes, and we install a defender as a container within each nodes. You might ask that if I have 100 containers or 5 containers, how are you going to scale with a single defender? This is best of Twistock. Twistock has a lot of patents for container security. And how do we scale? We are not working inline. We are listening Docker socket here, and all the metadata about your containers are running over that Docker socket, including network flows, system calls, file activity, web requests, commands goes to container. We listen there, and we can, implement commands there. I mean, whenever we want to stop something, we can, change something on Docker socket, and we can implement security without being inline. This is really important. We are not only integrating with your orchestrator solution, but also your registry repository, as I said, your CI/CD pipeline, your Jira, your Slack environment, alerting tools. Twistock just sits behind that. And for the future, what are we going to do? Palo Alto next generation firewall is, has the management plane and data plane separate. This is one of the most important features of Palo Alto Network firewalls. And we are going to have our data plane and management plane as containers to secure your pods within your container environments for north and south security. For east and west, we still be using Twistock. And thanks a lot for listening us. Miroslav, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. We are running out of time. If you want to ask a question, we are around here. We would love to answer your questions.
Якщо є запитання, або зараз дуже коротенькі, або в залі ви мене зустрінете. Будь ласка.
Can we get questions? We have a question. We are lucky. Kill him. Okay.
Добрый день. Если мне нужен какое-нибудь решение в части, вот как Enable.io, vulnerability, сканер какой-то, сканер уязвимостей, какое решение от Palo Alto мне нужно?
I'll get that question understood. Just a joke.
Yeah, this is precisely, sorry. Enable.io це те, що зараз ми випробовуємо в цьому солюшені, тому що питання активного скенінгу. В принципі, нічого не заважає вам використати open source on-prem сканер, навіть Nmap, запускаючи його разом із по івентах, які ви отримуєте від Prisma. Prisma є центром цих операцій, тому що, наприклад, ви можете мати постійний пошук і сигналізацію, коли з'явився новий ресурс такого-то типу, витягнути по ньому інформацію і запустити скан. Або можете використовувати інтеграцію з коробки. Я знаю, що Prisma має інтеграцію з Enable.io. Прямо в інтерфейсі ви можете вибрати інтеграцію до Enable.io. І вони будуть обмінюватися інформацією про нові ресурси по API.
Дякую, але у Palo Alto нема ще, наскільки я розумію, да, рішення от такого ж формату.
Окремого немає. Ну, це рішення configuration compliance і отримання даних по трафіку, фактично пасивного. Enable.io зараз має solution по активному скануванню. Чому би його не використати?
Окей, нам надо двигаться дальше. Мирослав, Фуат, спасибо. Thank you.
Дякую.
Thank you.